Bad news for every illegal in America after what court forgot to block in Trump's travel ban. Our country has been flooded with illegal immigrants thanks to Barack Obama and his insane liberal policies. For years, these illegals have been entering America just to be a drain on our welfare system. These people have made a mockery of our immigration process, and so have the liberals who have allowed it to happen. Instead of these people entering America the way many of our ancestors had, they choose to be criminals. Then when hard-working Americans like you and me say that enough is enough, we are called racists. How is that for insanity? Finally, after years of being kicked around by arrogant liberals, the people spoke and we elected President Trump. Trump got right down to business and has been making liberals cry since his inauguration day. However, liberals are doing their best to stop Trump from making progress on his campaign promises. One of those promises was to halt the influx of illegal immigrants into the country. Oh, but of course liberals could not allow that to happen. So, when Trump signed an executive order that would stop federal funding to sanctuary cities, the left lost their minds. A San Francisco U.S. District Judge, William Arick, and an Obama appointee, issued a temporary order to stop Trump's executive order. This was accomplished after San Francisco and Santa Clara County argued that this executive order threatened billions of dollars in federal funding. Now, in case you were wondering, Judge Arick is extremely liberal. For example, Arick was the judge who issued a restraining order against the advocacy group that was responsible for undercover videos that showed Planned Parenthood employees planning on selling baby organs. But, that is not all Arick has done. This judge also raised $200,000 and also donated more than $30,000 to groups that supported Obama. It's obvious that Judge Arick is not too bright, which is evident in his recent ruling against Trump. You see, liberals have been screaming that Trump's executive order to cut off federal aid to sanctuary cities would be unconstitutional, but they were way off base. The mainstream media has been spreading the lie that Trump's executive order would cut off of all federal funding to sanctuary cities, including basic federal entitlement payments like Medicaid, etc. But, the fact of the matter is that they were very wrong and that this executive order would not affect federal entitlement programs. Via Conservative Daily Post. According to Judge Arick, Section 1373 law prohibits local jurisdictions from restricting government officials or entities from communicating immigration status information to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. San Francisco and Santa Clara's policy that they have in place prevents their local police from notifying Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, when they arrest or detain an illegal alien, which violates federal law. This provision is limited to grants only, and therefore does not affect entitlement funding. So no, there is no threat to cut off federal entitlement funding and access to programs like Medicaid, etc. Arick further claims that the executive order raises problems under the spending clause of the Constitution because the executive branch is adding conditions to the receipt of federal funds, something only Congress has the power to do. Judge Arick also defends his ruling by claiming that public statements made by the President and Attorney General Jeff Sessions have endorsed the broadest reading of the order. The comments that were cited by Arick claim Trump stated publicly that his executive order is a weapon against jurisdictions that disagree with his immigration policies. Arick cites Sessions as saying, those not complying with Section 1373 would suffer withholding grants, termination of grants, and disbarment or ineligibility for future grants. Sessions was simply trying to point that sanctuary cities who violate Section 1373 are not eligible for justice grants. Now, while these liberal judges were able to issue an injunction on Trump's executive order, they missed one small thing. The exception in this ruling allows the Trump administration to cut off eligibility programs that are in non-compliance with Section 1373. Which means that sanctuary cities are going to lose some federal funding from the Justice Department and the Department of Homeland Security. While this case moves through the court system, the temporary injunction does stay in place. However, the Trump administration is still able to take action against these cities that are defying our immigration laws. It looks to me that these liberals are actually the bigger losers than they thought they were. I guess maybe next time they will read the fine print before they start celebrating a useless win, right? Let us know what you think about this. Sound off in the comments below. After Ivanka left the White House today, everyone saw this one incredible detail. Look closely. Ivanka Trump looked stunning in a gingham dress and nude stilettos as she carried her one-year-old son Theodore to Marine One on Thursday after she and her family arrived in New York City on Air Force One. The 35-year-old mom was photographed holding her baby boy on the tarmac at JFK International Airport while her husband Jared Kushner, 36, walked ahead of her with their daughter Arabella, 5, and their son Joseph, 3. The family flew from Washington, D.C., to New York with Ivanka's father, President Donald Trump, and they were dressed to the nines for the quick jaunt back to their home state. As they walked towards Marine One, Ivanka balanced Theodore on her hip, while Jared walked hand in hand with Arabella and Joseph. The children looked darling in complimentary outfits, Arabella in a cardigan and a plaid skirt and Joseph in a navy vest and pants. Although she has a bevy of high-end designers at her fingertips, the first daughter opted for a $128 gingham dress from J.Crew, which she paired with nude stiletto sandals, a nude handbag from her eponymous fashion line, a gold chain necklace, and aviator sunglasses. Meanwhile, Jared looked dapper in a slate gray suit and a black striped tie. The couple looked just as glamorous when they were photographed walking on South Lawn of the White House earlier in the day. Ivanka had her arm wrapped around Jared's as they headed towards Marine One with the president. However, before they left, the couple listened to President Trump speak in the Rose Garden following the House of Representatives vote on his health care bill, and it seemed to be a great day for Ivanka and her family. The mother of 3 was all smiles as she stepped out of her Washington, D.C. home on Thursday morning after her daughter Arabella happily passed out donuts to the Secret Service agents outside their residence. The little girl was escorted by a Secret Service agent as she carried the plate filled with goodies to the group of men working outside her home, and they gladly grabbed some of the breakfast treats. What do you think about this? Comment below. Breaking: Japan sends terrifying military warning to President Trump. Please pray. North Korea may already have the capability to deliver missiles equipped with sarin nerve agent, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said Thursday. His warning came as analysts said North Korea may be preparing for a 6th nuclear test ahead of a key anniversary in the country and following the deployment of a U.S. naval strike group to the region. The security situation around our country is getting increasingly severe, Abe said, who was addressing the Japanese Parliament's Diplomacy and Defense Committee. We have just talked about Syria. There is a possibility that North Korea already has a capability to put sarin on warheads to strike the ground, he said. Abe did not provide any evidence why he felt North Korea had the capability to equip missiles with chemical weapons. Chemical weapons capability. North Korea is one of only 6 countries not to have signed or acceded to the Chemical Weapons Convention and is believed to have large stockpiles of chemical agents, according to the Nuclear Threat Initiative. According to South Korea's 2016 Defense White Paper, North Korea has been developing chemical weapons since 1980. The paper estimates, as of that year, North Korea had 2,500 to 5,000 tons of chemical weapons, including anthrax, smallpox and plague. A 2012 report by the U.S. Department of Defense said that North Korea probably has a long-standing chemical weapons program with the capability to produce nerve, blister, blood and choking agents and likely possesses a chemical weapons stockpile. The report said that stockpile could be deployed by modifying a variety of conventional munitions, including artillery and ballistic missiles. While analysts have been skeptical of North Korean claims about its intercontinental ballistic missiles capabilities, the country possesses a substantial arsenal of conventional missiles capable of striking South Korea and Japan. Tong Zhou, an analyst with the Carnegie Tsinghua Center for Global Policy, told CNN that it appears technically possible to put chemical weapon agents including nerve agents such as VX or sarin in the warhead of a ballistic missile. North Korea was accused of using VX nerve agent in the murder of Kim Jong-nam, the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Sarin attacks. Japan is one of only a handful of countries which have experienced a sarin gas attack. In 1995, members of the Aum Shinrikyo cult released sarin gas in the Tokyo subway that led to the deaths of 13 people and sickened more than 5,500 commuters. Abe linked his warning about the North Korean capability to recent chemical weapons attacks in Syria. On April 4, more than 80 people were killed and many more injured in a chemical attack in Idlib province, which the US and its allies blame on the Syrian regime. Innocent citizens, including babies and children, fell victim in Syria, Abe said. As the security situation is getting increasingly severe around our country, we should strengthen the deterrence of the Japan-US alliance based on an appropriate division of roles between Japan and the United States, and continue to study what we must do in order to protect the lives and the assets of the Japanese people. Risk to Japan. While much attention is paid to Pyongyang